And we're back.
Oh, okay. All right.
We just had a talk with Chris.
Yeah, we had
Got everything straightened out.
We did. We did get everything straightened out. I have not been arrested.
Yet.
I did get a misdemeanor, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I just had to pay a $20,000 fine.
Money bags over here.
No, that was my entire life savings there. So I'm dirt poor now. You got any change?
Yeah. We really need this show to take off now.
Yeah, we really do. Me, the struggling apartment owner, and you, the finagling feline that you are. So
Finagling feline. All right.
yeah, you know.
Is that the nickname for this episode?
I guess so. That's what I got for you this time. So.
He's already running out of material.
You know what? Some are gonna be winners and some aren't. All right, so.
I'm just saying you're not gonna win any awards for that one.
Come on, man. You know what? Put up the price. The Price is Right losing audio right here.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Man, I miss Bob Barker.
Me too.
You know, but okay, let's talk about Price is Right for a second since you brought it up, because I actually was on the Price is Right once.
I know.
Which was a very interesting experience.
Oh, I'm sure. I didn't know it. Oh, I guess you did tell me this once, didn't you?
Yeah. I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't make it up on the Price is Right, so I didn't get to play any of the games. But literally, the guy right next to me got called up to be on the whatever it is, the stand, the witness stand. So I got a little bit of TV time there, so that was fun.
Hell yeah.
But this has been since Drew Carey took over. But there was just it was a pretty interesting time, pretty laid back for the most part. It felt getting into the building, the actual CBS building where they do this crap.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very like elementary schoolish, because of it was like everybody single file. All right, now we stay in this line, and it was just line after line after line. It was just like, oh my god.
Huh.
So it was a very long morning. We had to be there at like 8 in the morning or something like that, and we had to wait in like I don't know, at least I think it was like 5 hours worth of waiting.
Really?
While they basically the backstage of it is like you get like interviewed by like the producers, and then based off these interviews they decide who wants to come up there and stuff like that. So you gotta basically, like, they'll ask you questions like, hey, where you from, all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And you have to be like, you can't just go up there and be like, yeah, I'm from Saskatchewan,
right,
or whatever. They're gonna you have to be more like, oh, it's great to be here, all this, oh, I love watching this stuff. So you basically have to like ignore their questions and just act like you're just super pumped to be there, even though you've been waiting for 4 hours.
Look for show business.
You're super hungry. So it's a interesting experience. But then once you get in there and you're actually like watching the production and stuff like that, and like Drew Carey just like they would play some music and Drew Carey was just dancing with everybody and stuff. It was actually pretty fun. Once you got in there, they did feed us, so they're not total assholes, but they actually did give us lunch.
I'm sure they always have catering on those sets.
Yeah, so which is pretty cool. But yeah, so it was a pretty cool experience overall. But anyway, back to the original point, which was about Bob Barker. Bob Barker had a way with people when he hosted that show, and obviously he hosted it for decades. His interactions with people were always hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way like he would just berate people
oh yeah
for being just stupid.
Yeah, he was cold-blooded.
I absolutely loved it. Holy crap, we already at the boss?
Sure.
Wow, that took no time at all.
No, this is a very short dungeon.
No, I forgot how short this was, so...
Yeah, I think in my mind's eye, I saw this dungeon being a lot bigger.
Yeah. Man, we just blew right through this. So.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, it's back on Bob Barker.
Yeah, but, yeah, I remember, like, this one time, like, this dude was playing like there's the one game, I think it was like Flip or Flop or something like that, where they just give you a price for something, and you can either flip the numbers or flop the numbers, or you can flip flop them or something like that, or whatever, to make the correct price. And the dude like went to like confirm that confirm his answer or whatever, but like that's freaking Bob's job to do it, because like there's a whole production thing to it, so he's got to sell it,
Oh, sure.
whatever. Like, are you sure that you want that to be your final answer? All that kind of stuff. Some showmanship to it. And the guy just went for the button. It just hit the button. It just went straight for the button. Showed the correct price. All that kind of stuff. And Bob Barker was just pissed at this dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He was just like, come on, dude. Like, obviously I'm paraphrasing because it's Bob Barker and you wouldn't call somebody a dude.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, there's still like a certain level of professionalism he has.
Yeah,
but
like he was like, are you serious?
No, that's the thing, is like you don't overshadow the host on any of those shows.
Yeah, absolutely not.
It's their show.
Yeah. I guess this is just going to be Joe shares his game show audience experiences this episode here, because I've actually been on I've been in the audience for a couple different game shows.
Really?
Actually.
Okay.
So Price is Right was my most recent one, and I did that one when I was 21, I want to say.
All right.
And earlier than that, I was actually in the audience for the ever popular "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader" with Jeff Foxworthy. You might be a redneck. That guy.
You might be a redneck. The show where they do nothing but make fun of the adults.
Yeah, because these kids are absolutely smarter than the adults.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which I heard that the kids weren't. I heard there might have been some labor disputes with the kids on that show. That might be the reason why that show failed. But anyway.
Yep.
Other than the fact that it berated adults and showed how stupid they were. Way to go! You killed them.
Yeah, we're done here.
Man, that I don't know. There's just something about this dungeon. I was just like, this has to be a little bit longer, right? And I forget, like, this is essentially the tutorial dungeon.
Pretty much.
So this is essentially like you're inside the Deku tree, kind of. Just get you used to everything.
Yeah, so. You're kind of getting used to the mechanics a little bit.
Yeah.
There was a point where when we finally got the actual like hook, where I was kind of walking around trying to remember how long this dungeon was.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I forgot it's as short as it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're done here.
Yeah. Yeah, they get longer as we go along. Here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Some of those are pretty beefy.
Yeah. Anyway, back to fifth grader garbage. So that one was actually just like the worst experience ever. So basically, the way that they did that show was super like sucky for everybody that was like there. So the way that the producers did it, I think that honestly this is just Fox in general. Just from what I've gathered, because clearly Fox doesn't know how to keep a show. Oh yeah, there's that weird garbage language that nobody can read until you actually beat the game.
Oh god, he's having a stroke.
Right. I have no idea what he said. But basically, like, they treated like the audience as if they were part of the show, which I mean, like, I guess is part of it, but it's supposed to be, you're supposed to have a good time and stuff like that as well. And like when they were actually in production and they were shooting the show and had contestants down and stuff like that, like they would like force people that were in the audience to like adjust the way that they're sitting or smile or not smile, or something like that, so that way they can get a good shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And all that kind of stuff. And it was just very like dictatorish. And so it just sucked. The whole experience just sucked. The funny thing is the time when I was there, the audience, everybody in the audience, there was like this one question that this lady was trying to answer or whatever. In the entire, like, I think it was multiple choice. the question was, and she picked like obviously like a clearly wrong answer for it, and like everybody in the audience, because it was just so plainly obvious what the answer would be for it, was just upset with her. So they were just like, no, it's B.
What are you doing?
And obviously in that kind of a show, the audience isn't supposed to do that.
Yes.
This is not like, you know, ask the audience kind of a show. It's like it's meant for them and you're just there watching. But like everybody was just like, no, you idiot, it's this. Like everyone just screaming at her like, no, it's B.
Yeah.
Like but she didn't finalize the answer when everybody was screaming at her, so production had to like shut down for like a little bit to figure out how they were gonna cope with this, because clearly they didn't get the shot of her finalizing the answer.
Oh yeah.
It was just everybody screaming at her that she got the wrong answer. So
what's the problem with doing live action is there's, especially in that setting where you have a live audience, is there's so many like moving parts that can go wrong. So if you're not, you like, let me put it this way: if you want to survive in production, you have to be kind of a prick.
Yeah,
you gotta get done, or else it's your job.
Right. Well, I think that's why like those kinds of shows don't stick around that long though, because they're very, very strict. You have to do this, 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 and this. You stand here, you smile here, you frown here, all that kind of stuff. You clap here.
Sure.
And I think that kind of a style just doesn't work. I mean, that's why your shows like Let's Make a Deal and Price is Right have stuck around so long, is because it's not only is it family friendly, but it's audience friendly as well, because they just want the audience to just go freaking nuts.
Well, that's the mentality, right? Is if you see somebody on TV having a good time towards your product, then you would automatically assume the people at home would also be having a similar feeling towards it.
Right, exactly.
And if they're not doing that, then they're probably not going to have a great time with it.
Right. It's super robotic. Like those. So I guess word to the wise is any of those shows that are like one contestant with the host and an audience or something like that, it's all full of shit. It's not worth going on those shows. Honestly, I would go back on The Price is Right. That's the whole point of the show, is that everybody's there to have a good time.
Yeah.
So like I think that's why it's just an easy formula for The Price is Right. And that's why it's just going to survive the test of time, is because it's meant for everybody to have a good time.
Oh, sure.
You know?
Yeah, those shows live or die based on, like, staying fun and interesting.
Right. They just have a legacy to them. It's just like, it's kind of why, well, I mean, kind of unfortunate news at this point, because he passed away recently, but it's why Jeopardy's stuck around for so long, is because, like,
Trebek.
With Trebek dying, unfortunately, which I don't know what they're going to do with that show now with him gone. I just don't. There's like with Price is Right, you can see like, okay, you can just have like a fun replacement for the show, because like, I mean, that's what Bob Barker did. He just had fun. But with Jeopardy, it was they had a formula to it. You know, it was like you had to have a professional host and somebody who would be able to talk clear and concisely, and be able to, you know, read off the questions in an appropriate amount of time, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if there's really a host out there like that anymore. So I worry that Jeopardy's just not going to stick around for much longer, because I have a hard time believing you're going to be able to replace him as a host.
Sure. I mean,
but they have just a formula of like, oh, okay, this is how you play Jeopardy. It's meant to be, you just sit and watch. The audience knows that they're not clapping, rooting and hollering and all that kind of stuff. It's meant to be like a professional setting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So,
I mean, we like shows like that. I mean, there are people that have had similar thoughts. I'm sure, like Price is Right, when Bob Barker stepped down eventually.
Yeah.
Because, everybody knows that they're not going to be able to do that show forever. Because sometimes you don't have the energy for it anymore. And you can become a little slower. And this is kind of a similar thing that happened when, like, Johnny Carson stepped down from the Late Show or the Late Night Show.
How old are you? Although I'm talking about Prices Right here, so I guess I'm the 80-year-old woman here. But
But you know what I mean. Like these shows that have been staples of American television for decades. And
Yeah.
My father's been watching like Johnny Carson when he was a kid. And
how many is it? So it went Carson, Leno, Conan
for a hot minute,
and then back to Leno.
Yep.
And then Fallon, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was the order. And like all that stuff. Like I remember, because I was a point in time where I would watch a lot of Johnny Carson documentaries, and I'd go back and like watch some old like clips and stuff, just because I would experience that through my father. So I've actually come to appreciate his style of hosting and comedy.
He had it's just like the Carson time was just like that. I guess that basically, if you watch Carson, you basically see what it was like in those decades.
Oh, sure.
He is the epitome of that 60s, 70s, 80s host of, kind of like a crooner kind of person, and you can tell, it was quick zingers and all that kind of stuff. That was the style of comedian back in the day. It was just like quick zingers, you get them in quick, all that kind of stuff. And obviously comedy's changed quite a bit now. So
that show was a pocket of culture and like current events, all like wrapped up into a half-hour special.
Yep.
So like, I mean, especially in those days where I'm sure there were a lot of people that didn't know certain things were happening.
Right.
So to watch that show, that was kind of a necessity in some cases.
Right.
That's not really a thing anymore. It's kind of died down, but. I mean, like with those shows especially, like those shows also live and die based on the host and them being interesting.
Right.
And I remember seeing in those documentaries or like reading about it, kind of like what the feel was when they were stepping down. This idea of like, well, that's their show, like that's their DNA.
Yeah.
But like, it's really one of those things where like you can't truly know if that show is going to survive. Let's get sidelined by.
Way to go! Way to go! I'm just trying to climb this thing. Yo, you just pelted me.
Mind my own business. Here.
Literally, like the bully in fourth grade or whatever, shooting spitballs at you.
But that's the thing with those shows, though, is like as soon as you would assume, as time goes on, you eventually start prepping for the inevitable future where those guys aren't going to be around anymore.
Right, right.
So, I mean, you eventually have to adapt and rebuild because, like, if at this point, if you're not able to fit a new comedian or host into that slot and change the show around them,
right,
then, like, what have you accomplished for that decade?
Right.
So, I mean, I think it's just one of those things where it's not plainly obvious that somebody can come in and fill Trebek's shoes, at least at this moment in time.
Right.
But you would assume that once you get a new host,
once they're like kind of settled in and stuff like that, it'll be fine and nobody will notice.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing whenever there's a new person that comes to play like Joker and Batman, and everybody's like, well, this is gonna be a terrible idea.
Well, I mean, they haven't gotten it right since Ledger, so
sure. I mean, yeah, he was definitely for a lot of people.
Well, okay, I take that back because the Gotham show with Monahan, the guy that played well, they didn't call him the Joker in there, but Jerome.
It was definitely, there were shades of Joker.
He was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Playing that character. So, but in terms of big cinema, Joker has been right since Dark Knight. So
I did you see the Joaquin Phoenix movie?
Oh yeah. He did a good job. It's just the way I think he would definitely do fine as Joker, like going forward. He definitely, I mean, it's Joaquin Phoenix. He's a method actor anyway, so he personifies that character anyway. But I think just the way the story was in terms of gross.
Yeah. You got a little something.
You might need some of that proactive acne treatment. Yo, clean that up. Yeah, there's. I think it was just the story overall was just kind of like, I kind of felt like it. It was a little bit over dramatic, I guess I would say.
Okay.
I think it could have been I guess the big thing with the Joker is like, yeah, there is a lot of drama to his character, but it's more of to the effect of the death and destruction that he causes,
sure,
and that threat of death and destruction, which I never felt really until the end of the movie.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
So I don't strike it down to. I really enjoyed the movie as it was.
It's interesting.
But I think you're absolutely right. It's a character study, and it's not really a, your typical superhero movie, supervillain movie, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
So it's more of just like discovering who the Joker is, kind of giving it an origin story essentially.
Yeah.
Even though the Joker's origin story is kind of danced around quite a bit, so
I would say in addition to that, kind of getting back to getting like a new host for something like Jeopardy or anything like that, and like the thing with like Joker and all that stuff is like the Joker is just like a character. It's just like a vessel,
right?
Like really, I mean, it's kind of like a brush. Like,
yeah,
really, like it's what you do with it that kind of changes, and that's
true.
That character is so ill-defined, and like what he's supposed to be,
very diverse,
what his like past is and everything. There's a lot of varied like opinions on it and what it's supposed to be.
I can tell you what it's not supposed to be though. The Jared Leto Joker, that's for damn sure. That thing is a hot piece of garbage.
Although I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he really didn't get a whole lot to work with.
Well, yeah, he worked in a movie produced by Dick Suckle. So, like, what do you expect? Produced by Dick Suckle. So, that thing was doomed from the beginning.
Yeah, he really didn't.
Oh, God.
There's a whole lot of weirdness that was surrounding that movie and the way it was made.
I just want to talk about the fact that the freaking Deco tree in here. Why does he look like middle of Alabama, like, no, actually Arkansas, because I drove through Arkansas and there's actually nothing in Arkansas.
Yeah. Sorry to all of our
Arkansasian fans.
What the?
Wow, you suck.
He did not want to go forward, apparently.
But why does he look like a hillbilly? Like, honestly, why does his face look like
he looks like Shrek?
Yeah, he does. He looks like Shrek. Like, why give... Because, like, the classic Deku tree was, like, kind of like this old wise man kind of quality to
him.
Yeah, and, like, this guy is, like... He looks like he's dumb as a box of rocks. Like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to put it to that way. I know that's probably profiling or whatever, and I'm sorry for that, but let's face it, you look like you only have one tooth. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not really gonna go ask you math questions or anything like that. Like, that's just not going to happen. Or when the fate of the world is at stake, I don't really feel like I should trust the guy with the one tooth. So,
way to roast a tree.
I'm sorry, but like, seriously though, like, they could have at least give him like a stylish mustache or a beard or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't really care for the Deku trees look in this game too much.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's a little too cartoony. Like, I enjoy the cartoon aesthetic of this game, but like, he's a little too out there for me. And
although I guess when the great Deku tree was reborn in Ocarina, he was kind of reborn as a little derpy character. So. Maybe this is just a Deku tree that hasn't fully matured.
But it was a little kid, though. It was a little baby kid, though, so it's understandable. So is this Deku tree supposed to be, like, his midlife crisis? Is this before he becomes, like, old and wise? He's like...
he does look a little young.
Hey, Link, how's it going? Got to get that Deku tree, get on there, you know what I'm saying?
Come on,
I'll tell you what, it's pretty crazy when you got that Deku leaf right there. I just pooped that out right out of that tree there, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you go help out? Why don't you go help us out, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now. Like, that doesn't strike me as comforting at all. I'm like, was there any words in that? Like, everybody get the license plate on that word jumble? Like, come on.
Speaking of comforting.
Jeez. Oh, yeah, that looks friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is always a fun part.
I forget. Can I change? I can change the
wind.
Yeah, you
can adjust the wind.
I'm going to go... I feel like if you angle it a little bit, it helps Oh, actually, that's straight on.
No, yeah, you wanted southwest there. Although, don't fly southwest. Anyway.
I feel like I can still make
I think I just ruined a sponsor for us.
Now we can't fly for free.
Damn. We can't... Oh, well, flying the friendly skies is United, so... So we can still get United.
We can get... Alright, that's fine.
So we're fine. Southwest, screw 'em.
I haven't really done a whole lot of traveling by, like, air.
Oh, okay.
So
I've done a lot of traveling just because of my family. But
I was going to say, you travel quite a bit.
Yeah. Why? You know what? Dude, you freaking biffed it. You freaking biffed it, dude. Oh, bitchin'.
Yeah,
anyway.
Drop.
Oh, God.
I forgot I needed... for some reason, in my mind, I thought I needed to avoid the tornado.
Wow. Oh, way to go. Jeez. Well, let's get into this Forbidden Woods situation that we got going on over here, and we'll call this an episode.
Treat me like a piece of meat.
I'm always in the mood for a juicy piece of meat.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hey, you know what? You get what you pay for, and you know what? I usually like a good ribeye, but in this case, I had to settle for the hamburger steak. I think this is a good place to end it for this episode.
I think so. Next time we're gonna tackle this dungeon.
Yeah, next time we're gonna probably blaze for this one too, because this one's not that big either. So.